Emotional unavailability isn't a flaw. It's a defense system, and every sign has one. Some are just more fortified than others. Today we're ranking all 12 zodiac signs from the most emotionally present to the most psychologically unreachable. What we found will probably explain every relationship that confused you. At number 12, Pisces. They feel everything, and they need you to know it. Pisces are so emotionally saturated that unavailability isn't even in their vocabulary. They will cry at your pain before you do. The real risk with Pisces isn't walls, it's drowning in the depth they pull you into. At number 11, Cancer. Cancer built their entire identity around emotional connection. They are the sign most likely to text first, to remember what you said 6 months ago, to notice when something's wrong before you've said a word. Walls exist here, but they're not for keeping you out. They're for surviving the moments you leave. At number 10, Libra. Libra wants harmony, and harmony requires emotional engagement. They are genuinely invested in how you feel, sometimes more invested in your feelings than their own. The shadow side is that all this attentiveness can be performance, but the access is there. Libra opens the door. Whether anyone's home is the better question. At number 9, Leo. Leo's emotional availability is conditional on one thing: being seen in return. When they feel witnessed, they are extraordinarily warm and present. When they feel overlooked, that warmth becomes a door that shuts with no explanation. Leo isn't cold. Leo is proud. There's a difference. At number 8, Taurus. Taurus takes time to open. There's a vetting process, slow, deliberate, non-negotiable. Once you're in, you have one of the most loyal and emotionally stable presences in the zodiac. But that patience required up front? Some people mistake it for unavailability. It isn't. It's just a heavier door. At number 7, Aries. Aries is emotionally direct in bursts. They'll say something devastatingly honest and real, and then move on before you've processed it. They don't linger in emotional spaces the way water signs do. They feel intensely, they express it quickly, and then they're on to the next thing. Depth is available. Sustained emotional presence is harder to hold. At number 6, Sagittarius. Here's where emotional unavailability starts to feel intentional. Sagittarius is philosophically allergic to being pinned down, emotionally or otherwise. They will intellectualize a feeling before they'll sit inside it. They care about people, genuinely. But the moment a connection starts to feel like a demand, Sagittarius becomes very interested in somewhere else. At number 5, Gemini. Gemini can discuss emotions with extraordinary fluency and still never let you touch them. There's a difference between articulating feelings and actually experiencing them in front of someone. Gemini has mastered the first. The second makes them uncomfortable in ways they won't always admit. You can know a Gemini for years and still feel like you're talking to a very charming surface. At number 4, Virgo. Virgo's emotional unavailability is built from hypervigilance. They have analyzed every possible way that being vulnerable can go wrong, and they've prepared accordingly. Criticism is easier for them than exposure. Service is easier than surrender. Virgo will do everything for you except let you see them falling apart. That part stays private, possibly forever. At number 3, Capricorn. Capricorn has reframed emotional unavailability as a virtue. They call it self-sufficiency. They call it focus. They call it not being dramatic. The truth is that Capricorn built an internal infrastructure specifically designed to function without needing anyone. And they did it so well, they sometimes forget that needing people is allowed. You can love a Capricorn for a long time without ever fully reaching them. At number 2, Aquarius. Aquarius cares about humanity and struggles to connect with humans. That is not a contradiction. That is the entire Aquarius experience. They will be passionately devoted to ideals, causes, and concepts while remaining emotionally 3 steps removed from the person standing right in front of them. They don't build walls. They build entire alternate dimensions where feelings don't have the same gravitational pull. Getting close to an Aquarius feels like trying to hold water. Philosophically interesting. Practically impossible. At number 1, Scorpio. And here we are. Scorpio is the most emotionally unavailable sign in the zodiac, and they will be furious that we said so, which proves the point. Scorpio feels more intensely than almost anyone. But intensity is not the same as availability. They are masters of emotional extraction. They will pull everything out of you while revealing almost nothing. The intimacy feels profound because Scorpio manufactures depth. What they rarely allow is reciprocal vulnerability. They watch, they test, they withhold, and they justify all of it as self-protection. The cruelest irony is that Scorpio wants connection more than most signs. They've just surrounded it with enough psychological barbed wire that almost no one gets through. If a Scorpio has ever let you in completely, you are either very special or very patient. Probably both. Every sign on this list has a reason for the distance they keep. None of it is random. These are survival architectures, built early, reinforced often. Understanding them doesn't excuse the damage they can cause. It just makes the patterns harder to ignore. Subscribe to Astrea Zodiac. We say what the stars actually mean.